Chapter 20. Chiamaka. Tuesday. You're late. Again, I tell Richards as he enters the lab. He says nothing, just blankly stares at me like he doesn't care. But I'm going to ignore that because I need him to be invested in this. And hopefully after today, he will be. I walk toward Peter, who is waiting, with his laptop open on his lap. Devon is being annoyingly slow. What did you find? I ask, cutting the niceties. Peter smiles, leaning back against his chair. Probably everything you were looking for. But since I did this for you, could you do me a favor? It's like all the years I spent gaining respect have been washed away by the random appearance of Aces, the cyber bitch, this year. But I guess since Peter did help, I could. Depends, I say. I heard Belle and Jamie broke up. And I hear that you and Belle are friendly now. Heard from who? Peter smiles with a shrug. Around. I'm sure people are surprised after the Aces blast about me and Jamie hooking up that Belle and I are hanging out. It's the opposite of what usually happens. Boy is a massive dickhead to both girls. Girls fight each other. Boy is left unblamed as girls antagonize each other. I'm glad it isn't like that with me and Belle. What about her, I ask. Can you tell her about me? How helpful I was to you? Peter looks at me, desperate. There's a flutter in my stomach. I don't like this, but I give a small nod. Peter looks up at back at his laptop. So, you'll be happy to know that only one device is used to send the messages, and that device is easy to locate. Where is it? Devon asks, finally awake and interested. Right here, in the school. The Morgan Library, Computer 17. That's surprising. Why would Aces want to do it somewhere they could easily get caught? Can you get CCTV footage from Morgan? I ask. Peter shakes his head. Morgan is one of the few places in the school that isn't covered. Perfect location to do a lot of things, Peter says, waggling his eyebrows. I ignore the gross implication he's making, because I'll know I'll throw up my breakfast if I pay it any mind. I hardly go into Morgan Library. It's notorious as being hookup central. Plus, there's a separate science library closer to the labs that I use. There's more, though, Peter says. Richards and I both lean in. Sundays and Mondays, at around 10 o'clock, the details are entered in the messages scheduled to be sent out at specific moments during the week. They've hacked into the school's central administration system, so they can access the entire registry of student body phone numbers. I remember how Headmaster Ward said he could trace what we were doing on our personal school accounts. Could you look at the personal school account of the student who logged in? Peter scratches his head. Yes, actually. I attempted to as soon as I got in, and I'm afraid the personal account used wasn't registered to any student or staff member. On a normal account in the Nevaeh database, you'd have a unique name and passcode. Yours, for example, is Chiamaka Adebayo, 5681. Could you lower your voice? There's literally someone out to get me, and you're here telling the whole lab what my password is, I interrupt. Peter nods. Sorry. What I meant was, I can see into anyone's account. This person, though, had no name, and the password seems to be frequently changed. I imagine they use some sort of randomizer. But anyway, I can't identify who it is that sends the messages from this account, nor can I access the files. There's a lot of encryption that would take me days to crack. I can only see what gets sent out from the computer and the times the texts are logged. Aces is definitely way too smart to be any of the suspects I currently have on my list. I don't think I've ever seen Ruby use a computer before. Can I have a copy of all the things you found? I ask, my mind racing. Peter looks like he wants to refuse, but reluctantly nods anyway. Should I print it out? He asks. Email. I'll be expecting it, I say, before turning, grabbing Richards' arm and pulling him toward the door. Richards pulls his arm away, and I turn to give him my death glare. Why is he being such a child? Whoever Aces is, from everything we know, it's clear they've plotted this, whatever this is, meticulously. We need to think ahead and preempt what they're going to do next, I say. I can't help but notice that Richards' eyes are tinted pink, like he's been crying all morning. So what do we do? He asks. A stakeout, this Sunday. We are going to catch Aces as they set their next messages. Then what? We've got all their messages and Peter's data as evidence. And after pinning down who they are, we don't stop until they have nothing left. Expose them and everything they've done, to the school and every college they're applying to. I'll ruin their future like they tried to ruin ours. Devon nods. I'm in. I have chemistry and find my seat next to Jamie. I sit down heavily, taking my notebook out. I remember the simpler days, when I could just enjoy my favorite subject in peace. I should have treasured those moments. Pair up and follow the instructions on the sheet, Mr. Peterson says. I cringe inwardly. Now would be the perfect time for a change of partner. Anyone but Jamie. But partner changes don't happen easily. Plus, with me not talking to him, and Ruby and Ava not speaking to me either, I'd rather not try my luck with anyone else. I look over at one of the girls on the bench next to me, Clara. She's always hated my guts, and now she can do so openly. She gives me a smug look, before turning away. I go up to the sides tables, getting a Bunsen burner and the materials. Belle broke up with me, Jamie says when I get back to our table. I'm sorry, I say, though I don't mean it. He sniffs, and my heart feels heavy. I just really liked her. There's a silence as I unpack everything, but I can feel him staring at me. Sorry for leaving me behind, not being there when you needed me. Why is he suddenly deciding to be all nice to me? I set the Bunsen up and separate the materials. It's okay, I tell him. It's not. I'm your best friend, and I left you when things got tough. I'm used to it, I want to say. I'm used to Jamie ignoring situations when things get tough or hard to speak about. Now I'm trying not to accept his crappy behavior. Here's a list of elements we need to test, I say, without stuttering, which I'm so happy about, because I can still feel Jamie's eyes on me and it's making me nervous. Okay, he says. I hear whispers behind me, and at first I'm confused until I hear the voices more clearly. I don't know how Belle can hang out with someone like that, someone says. I look up. Jeremy smiles at me and waves, and I smile back, waving with my middle finger up. His smile falters and he turns away. What a bitch. No wonder nobody likes her. Sometimes I really hate Nevaeh. The best revenge right now is to not let my grades slip. I'm going to get into Yale, then med school, and I'm going to be the best doctor in the state, whether they like it or not. Jamie and I work side by side for the rest of the class. He even lets me do most of the Bunsen burner work. After we're finished, he walks out with me. Do you want to come over to my place today? Maybe go to the waffle place or something? He asks. I don't know why I'm surprised. Whenever something happens, he always wants us to forget and move on. Go back to being best friends. I don't know if it's Aces, Belle, or something else, but I'm finally seeing through the cracks in Jamie's seemingly perfect demeanor. I feel like I'm worth more than that. I'm busy, I tell him. Oh. We walk and we get started, but I keep my head up. Heels clicking against the marble loudly. I imagine stomping on all their glaring faces. I'm not going to look weak. I could walk you home? I turn and say, I have legs, Jamie. I can walk myself home, and I'm sure you can too. I give him a tight smile, and then I walk out of the school, down the steps, and through the gate, alone. The house is empty when I get back. I go upstairs immediately, opening my laptop and downloading everything Peter sent over. The first sheet pops up. I scroll, watching as each message is traced back to the origin. Computer 17. Every message that was sent is there. Just in. Looks like Chi's not so sweet. Sources say she got caught trying to steal candy. Careful, Chi. Don't want a record yet, we'll see. Aces. It's been 2 weeks since it happened. 2 Tuesdays ago. And I still can't figure out how the candy ended up in my pocket. I wonder who these sources are. There were other people in the shop, but none I recognize as being Nevaeh students. Only Jamie. But it doesn't make sense that he'd ruin his relationship with Belle by posting the later messages about us. None of this makes sense. The next download page comes up on the screen. The dates and times of the log text. Like Peter said, they all happened around 10 o'clock. 22:06, 22:13, 21:57. All on a Sunday or Monday night. Who would have access to the school at that time? The janitor? The teachers? Anyone could steal a key. My phone buzzes and I jump. Is it weird that I've never watched The Notebook before? B. I smiled down at her message, feeling guilty for being happy that she texted when Jamie is still obviously upset. A good friend would try to fix his relationship with her, but I don't have to be a good friend to someone who isn't one to me. Yes, really weird. You should change that soon. I looked down at my phone, waiting for a reply. Maybe I was too forward. I don't want her to think I was suggesting she come over and watch it, even though that's what I was suggesting. I'm regretting sending it. Are you free now? I have it on DVD. B. I look at my laptop screen as another download pops up. Logged at 22:04 on Sunday. That can't be right. I scroll, zooming in on the page and details. My heart picks up. How is it possible that Aces knew I would be accused of stealing candy on Tuesday when they logged it on Sunday night at 10:04 p.m.? My mom's making pancakes too. B. I look down at her message. The sense of impending doom in my chest makes me feel like someone has wrapped their hands around my neck, blocking my air supply. Blonde hair. Blood. Tarmac. At any moment, Aces could release more lies or more truths. The police could come knocking on my front door, locking my wrists together in handcuffs, and drag me away while the disappointment on my parents' face burns to my mind forever. I need to go through all of what Peter has sent over, make sure I have an airtight plan to take back to Devon tomorrow. Sorry, something came up. I was just starting to have a real friend, and, like everything else, Aces is ruining that too.